Hi, I'm Shannon. Welcome to Chair Yoga. I think this is the maybe fifth class I'm putting on YouTube. So I thank you for being here at whatever time you decided to watch this. I have my beautiful friends here with me today, live. So we're gonna do a little bit of chair yoga, a little bit of movement in our chair today. We took off last week, it was a holiday. So we are back in the game and back into our practice. So sit back in your chair and sit up nice and tall. Feel your feet on the floor. So make sure your feet can still touch the floor. So you might have to scoot up a little bit to make that happen. And rest your hands on your legs. We're here in Austin, Texas, and it is, it's December 1st today, and it is freezing in our concept of cold. So we'll do a Ujjayi breath today. The Ujjayi breath is a slow and thoughtful breath in through the nose and out through the nose. But we tend to make it a little bit slower, a little bit warmer in the throat. Some of us say you hear ocean waves in your ears. So another way to say that is like fogging a mirror, but with your lips closed. So it's, and you'll feel that breath move from the throat to the ears, and it's a warming sensation. Try to make your inhale long too. So we'll practice it together. Inhale. Mouth closed, exhale. Try to go with me. Inhale. Lips closed, exhale. Feel that little constriction of your throat. Inhale. And exhale. Do that a few times on your own, maybe eyes closed. Bring your palms together and rub your hands vigorously together. Create some energy. And for today, because we're so cold, or at least I am, rub your hands together and get warm. Start to feel that heat generate. And then slowly cup your palms of your hands over your eyes. You don't have to touch, just bring your hands right in front. You might even feel the warmth of your breath here as you breathe out through your nose. Feel the warm breath come out. Bring your palms together and touch your thumbs to your chest. And try to soften your jaw so your lips are just barely touching each other. We'll chant Om together. Inhale. Om. Bow your chin towards your heart. Relax your hands to your legs. Slowly open your eyes and lift your chin. I welcome you to chair yoga. All right, so because of this cold weather feeling for us, we're going to, and you might be taking this in June, you may be taking it later, but concept is the same. We're going to move a little bit and warm up in our body. So go ahead and come up to more of the top of your chair. And again, if that's not safe for you, back up. You don't have to do that. And we're just going to warm up in our arms. So start to swing your arms. Be careful not to hit your chair, the wall behind you, and just begin to slowly move them. So I'm not going really fast. Just kind of in slow motion, moving my arms forward and back. And if you're just coming in, starting yoga, you might start to hear some little pops and cracks. We called them popcorn noises when we were together in the studio. So you might hear those little popcorn pops and cracks. Now make sure this doesn't hurt, but that you're just warming up. And then try to let that momentum go a little bit higher. So the arms maybe start to come up. You can keep a bend in your elbows and back. And you're going to start to build a little bit of heat. You might notice that your breath becomes a little unsteady. So maybe inhale and exhale. And then maybe even start to let your arms move all the way up and into, they're not quite circles. You might feel like you're drawing an oblong or cone shape with your hands, but start to let your arms go all the way around. It doesn't have to be quick. In fact, I think it's a little investigative. How does it feel to let your arms open up? You'll definitely get a little breathless. Now stop wherever you are, freeze frame, and go the opposite direction. So just switch. And again, you might be moving faster or slower than I am, but I'm just investigating how it feels. I mean, you're lifting your shoulder blades, you're drawing your shoulders up to your ears, and how does it feel? Well, I can tell you it's taking a lot of effort for me today to want to lift my arms all the way up and down. And then just bring your hands to your lap and notice the sensation of that. How does that feel? You might feel a tingling. You might feel even a coolness in your arms. All right. So keep your left hand where it is. If you start seeing a little tail, it's my dog. It's not your imagination. You're seeing something. Take your right arm and make those big circles again. Now, I don't know about you, but I'll feel a little bit of a pull in my neck. So I'll try not to tense up and just let your arm go up into the circles. And then I want you to freeze frame and switch directions. And you might find that with one arm, you have a little bit more control in this situation. You're not just floating both arms. And then bring your arm down by your side. Notice your right arm from your left. And then we'll go with the left arm. So just start in whatever direction calls you. You may be going clockwise or counterclockwise. And try to soften your right shoulder at the same time. Sometimes you'll want to pinch your right shoulder up. Don't let your right shoulder do anything. Let it rest. And then stop, freeze frame, and go the opposite direction. Okay, I'm tired. Can we stop now? And release your hand to your legs. I think all this cold weather, I was curled up in a little ball this morning, and now my body's trying to unroll. All right, that's the shoulders. Now just soften them down. Just soften them. And see if you can bring some tension, like a wave or a waterfall moving down your shoulders. And then draw them back a little bit until you feel like you're lifting your chest. All right. The ladies that are here know what rolling pins mean. So if I told them that, they would say, I know what that means. I call it rolling pins. I'm a baker, so I do a lot of baking. So that's what I think of when I think of rolling pins, is rolling that pin around the dough. So take your arms out to the sides. Don't let them ride up. Bring them down a little bit. And then rolling pins. So now your biceps are the rolling pins. So I want you to roll not just your palms up and down, but all the way up into your shoulder heads. And we're going to start to exaggerate this a little. So I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. As your arms are rolling, I want you to start rolling all the way forward and back in your spine. So tuck your chin, look down at your thighs or knees, and then come all the way up, palms lift, look up. So you're rolling And then I even want you to think about this. You're even taking some little crunches in your abdomen. So as you lift up, bring breath in. And then as you exhale, release the breath and draw your navel towards your spine. So it's inhale, exhale. And really try to turn your palms all the way up as you inhale and all the way down, and even press your palms towards the wall behind you. Couple of more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Yes, your arms are tired, so are mine. And sit up tall and bring your hands down. Feel that. Tell you in mine, I feel a little bit tension, like I want to squeeze, so go back to softening your shoulders down. So just relax. I was told once, you don't say relax or calm down to someone. Opposite effect. But in yoga, I hope that when I say relax, it means let your muscles rest. All right, let's move down into the legs, because we're going to take all this and start adding some movement. So down into the legs, we're just going to stretch one leg out at a time. So let's start with our right leg. Just stretch your right leg out. Now the leg doesn't have to be straight. Just move it towards straight. Flex your foot and draw your toenails towards you. So I want you to feel like you could push your heel on a wall. Pretend there's a wall there and you want to get your heel pressing on the wall, but your toes away from the wall. And then bring your leg down and bring your left leg out. Now, you might just be picking up your leg slightly. That's fine. Push out towards the floor if that feels better for you, or picture a wall right in front of you. You need to hold the chair to do this. You can grab your hands and maybe grab the sides of your chair and then come down. Take your right leg back out. Come down and stretch your left leg out. And down. So I call this marching. We're just going to march. I'm going to work on the hip flexors. You can hold your chair. You can just have your arms by your sides. But I just want you to start picking your feet up one at a time. So your thighs are still parallel to the chair. So everything we're doing right now is kind of moving in a forward motion. We're going to add a little bit. Keep marching. I'll start to get out of breath. Don't have to go fast. It's not a race. So I just want you to lift one foot as the other one touches the floor. It gets tiring quickly. So we'll take it to that edge. We'll go just a little bit further than just a quick stop. We'll take it till we get a little fatigued or a lot fatigued. And how about two more? 1, 2, rest. Feel the sensations up in your hips, maybe your thighs. All right, take your arms back out, bend your elbows and bring your elbows towards each other. They don't have to touch. In fact, it's a little bit too much of an effort for me to bring them together, so I'm going to put a little space between them. I'm wearing a dark color, but my elbows are probably, about 4 inches apart. But if you can bring your hands together and your elbows, feel free to do that. It just feels like a little bit too much tension for me. Now, bring your elbows down. So you might be feeling your triceps squeezing onto your chest, and then lift them back up. This is not easy work. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. Draw your elbows down as you lift your chest. So you'll feel your triceps pressing onto your chest or your breasts, and then lift your elbows up. Honestly, I think it's harder to not have your hands and elbows together because you don't have anything to press and you're trying to resist. So either way, you can pick. Squeeze, lift, and down. And every time you bring your elbows down, lift your chest. Oh boy, this is hard work as well. Couple of times until you start to feel fatigued. And that fatigue may be coming into your triceps or your biceps. and release. Rest for a moment. Okay, so now we're going to do some of those stomach crunches, which we were doing with our rolling pins. We're going to use bent elbows and we're going to lift our knees. So we just kind of choreographed a dance here, a little 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to take opposite elbow to opposite knee, and we're going to do that little bit of a crunch. So it's going to look like this. And I want you to squeeze your breath out as you do it. So it's inhale, left elbow, right knee, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And 2 more. Inhale, exhale. Really crunch and give yourself that little squeeze of your abdomen. Inhale, exhale. And stop. And take a moment and give me 2 inhale exhales on your own, softening your muscles and allowing yourself that breath if you shortened your breath. All right, take your legs out a little bit. So if you've got sides on your chair, you'll just come to the front, or you'll try to slip your feet maybe in line with the legs of your chair. Turn your toes out. So this is a freebie. You're going to get the stretch of your inner thighs just by doing this. But then we're going to work a little bit in our shoulders. So there are times in yoga where you can feel like you're stretching the muscles. You're not doing that, but it's a nice feeling, as if your hand was actually guiding your muscles into some length. So that's what's going to happen here. Take your hands, thumbs on the inside, fingers wrapped around, and you're not on your kneecaps. Slide your hands up a little bit. Put a bend in your elbows. Lean forward. So I've always just fascinated how much of a stretch this can feel like. So dip your right shoulder down to the floor, and then turn and look over towards the left. And when you dip your right shoulder down towards the floor, I want you to squeeze your hand onto your knees and slide the skin down towards your kneecaps, looking over towards the left. Now I feel it in the right thigh. You might too. Come back up, inhale. And then squeeze your left shoulder down towards the floor. Look towards the right and let your hands squeeze down your thighs until you feel a stretch on the left inner thigh. Come back up, inhale. And exhale. And inhale, lift. And exhale. And one more, inhale. And exhale. Oh, we got to even out. Inhale. One more. Left shoulder down, look to the right. And come up. And if I ever give you a cue and you're like, well, I don't feel anything in that thigh, it's what I feel. You and I are in different bodies, but what I do feel when I'm going that opposite direction is that stretch of the opposite inner thigh. You may say, really? I feel it on this one. We are all different and we feel things differently. Okay, we're going to build up some heat. We're going to take our arms up overhead. Now, you can have them straight or you can have them in cactus. If you've got some issues in your shoulder, pins, surgery, you may have had a doctor or a physical therapist say, hey, don't ever take your arms up overhead. It's too much. So just listen to them. Do what feels best for you. So we're going to do a ha, ha. So it's going to be an inhale through the nose, and then we're going to bring our elbows down and go ha. So I don't want you to hit your chair. Be careful not to hit your elbow. There's nothing worse than when you hit your elbow. So arms up, inhale, and then you're going to go ha. Inhale, ha. Feel an engagement in your abdomen. 2 more. And relax. Relax so much that you feel your knees falling in a little bit. Take a breath in and out. All right. Now, I didn't mention this before, and if you've watched my other chair yoga classes on here, I mention it a lot, that isometric move. So isometric, I want you to feel like you're moving your heels towards each other, but don't. So don't actually pull your heels in, but push into the floor and draw your heels together until you feel action. And I got a cramp, so I'm coming out and coming back in. Feel action as if your heels are pulling towards each other and your legs are working. And I'm cramping again. So I'm just going to come out for a second and come back in. If that's never happened to you, it will one day, and you'll be in solidarity with me. All right, we're going to move a little bit side to side. So we've been doing more action from our abdomen, and then we're going to move side to side this time so that we get some oblique action in the sides of our torso. So bring your left forearm down and lift your right arm up and over. So we'll have a tendency to squeeze the left shoulder up towards your ear. I want you to bring your shoulder down as you lift your right arm over, stretch, and then come to the other side. So pretty slow right now. You ever remember doing cartwheels as a kid? That's what your arms are doing, that cartwheel. Press your feet into the floor, squeeze your feet down into the earth, and then squeeze them towards each other till you feel action in your legs. And then sweep your arms over. You might even take your gaze like you're trying to sniff your armpit or sniff your bicep, and then come back over. Take your gaze towards the left. And then let's put a little bit of movement. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Let's speed it up a little bit more. As you inhale, move. As you exhale, move. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And come back up. So a lot of work to keep your legs moved out in this goddess pose this long. We'll do one more and then we'll bring our legs back in. So push your feet into the floor and squeeze your heels towards each other. Take a little test. Take your hands behind your knees and push your knees into your hands until you extend even wider. And then bring your arms out. And we're just going to do the huh one more time. Inhale. Ha. 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 2 more. Ha. 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 Take your hands, hold onto your chair so that you can bring your legs in front, and then walk up again to the top of your chair if it's safe. Whew, a lot of work there, lots of work. Bring your thighs together. Feel your thighs touching so that you can resist from each other. So I'd want you to feel like maybe you slipped a book between your thighs and you're trying to hold that book together. So resist the temptation to kind of want to slide out and splay and stay more squeezed in. We're going to work on a couple of twists here. So we haven't really twisted a lot. We've done some side movement. We've done some forward movement. So now we're going to twist around the midline of our body. So if we pictured we had, say, well, I love to say, I wouldn't want to say a pole because that sounds pretty tight, but let's just say we have a tree growing down the middle of our body, and we want to move around that tree. We want to hug it. We want to move around it, maybe do a nice little dance around it. That's what I want you to think about in the twist. So take your right hand to your left thigh, and then just grab something behind you with your left hand, the back of your chair. You might just drape your arm back behind you, and then lift up through the crown of your head and slowly slide your gaze to the left. Slide your left shoulder blade in. Tone your abdomen like you were going to stand up from your chair. What does that feel like? To feel like maybe you would pick yourself up. And then take a breath in. And then round yourself around the tree. So feel your right ribs coming around the tree. And then once you're in the twist, take a few breaths in and out. Stay here in your body and just look towards the screen. So you're moving your chin more towards your right shoulder, and then bring everything forward and just become that nice still tree for a moment. I think I'm thinking about a tree because I wrapped lights around my tree in the front yard the other day, and I was moving and stirring around it. Take your left hand to your right thigh. Take your right hand and grab something behind you. And then start to look towards the right. And then feel like you could sit up from the chair. So even though your sit bones are not going to come off the chair, feel like you're lifting your body up towards the heavens. And then draw your right shoulder blade in and begin to gaze towards your right shoulder. Now your left hand is not going to squeeze your thigh in, but use it as a little bit of steadiness to make your twist. And then wrap your left ribs around the tree. Take a breath in. Exhale. Let your jaw be slack. Let your lips be lightly pressed together. Go back to the Ujjayi breath. Inhale. Slow breath out. Turn your head more towards your right shoulder, so release any tension in your neck, and slide your hands back onto your lap and stand forward. Or not stand. Don't stand, sit. Sit up nice and tall. Walk your hips back so that you feel like you've moved to the back of your chair, and just lean back a little bit. Give yourself some grace. Let something hold you. And then we're just going to work a little bit on the neck. Newer to yoga, sometimes you stay a little bit tense. You're constantly trying to see what's going on. You're moving your neck around a lot. So let's try to bring some comfort there. Soften your shoulders down, but then widen through your collarbones. So feel a length coming between your shoulder heads. And then just start to slowly bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. And then even though the activity is happening over on the right, soften your left shoulder down. Try to bring less tension, but you might even feel a slight stretch. There is no reason why you couldn't just listen to your breath here, slow it down. Bring your head back up. And then bring your left ear over to your left shoulder. And soften your right shoulder down. Slow your breath down. And lift your head back up. And this is just a slow nod no. Don't even go too far. You might look to the right and then look to the left. And then you might sweep a little bit more to the right and a little bit more to the left. And then stay at that angle, or just like if you were driving a car and looking over your shoulder to see if there were any cars in the right lane, or take a look over your right shoulder. And then as if you were in the car changing lanes, look over your left shoulder. Come back to center and just tilt your chin slightly up. Don't go too far, and slightly down. And one more time, slightly up and down. Lift your gaze for a moment. Feel like you're drawing your chin back, so you could make a double chin for just a moment. Lift your chin back up parallel to the floor, and then slide your skull back and slide your shoulders back. Hopefully you're leaning against the back of your chair. And you can keep your hands resting on your legs, or you could take a hand to your heart and a hand to your abdomen and just feel your breath. You could close your eyes. Letting your muscles relax, restore. Softening your skin. Softening the tension that can come into your face when you're trying to stare at a screen, when you're trying to listen intently. You don't have to see the screen and you don't have to listen. So could you soften the features of your face? Relax the muscles around your eyes and mouth. Feel the fullness in your cheeks. Bring your palms to your chest. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. We'll chant Om together. Inhale. Om. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. I thank you so much for joining me. You are always welcome to come and join us live. We have a wonderful community. We chat a little before class. I'd love to see you. I'd love to meet you, but you are always welcome to take this class at your own time and at your own pace. Thank you so much for being here.